just a gentle reminder to be aware of your volume levels as we get everyone settled for the class. How many? Jeez, there's 30 bears here. Wow. Me trying to figure out how to get around this hill so I can eat trees, please. Kuga, would you like a TP?
I'm underground right now, underneath y'all.
Oh, okay.
I already got a TP. I was on the top of.
Your name tag is glitched for me, and it's saying you're on top of Snowy for some reason.
Yeah, that's where I was, and then I got TP'd.
I see. Okay, I was just concerned. But if you're already here and my game is gaslighting me, then it's all good.
It's gatekeep gaslight.
Yes. That is the Ori code.
My stupid Ori.
Hey, stop talking and read what I wrote, please.
Thank you.
Oh, you came exactly quiet.
In chat, stop talking, read what I wrote.
See, this is why I bring Z along with me to classes. So I'm just going to read that out anyway, but please join the VC. If you're not in the VC, you can't hear me say this. Mute yourself unless you're a staff member. If you die during this class, you will not be revived. Please try not to spam your calls and take care to watch your volume. This is a class, and we do want it to be fun, and it definitely will be fun. But you're here to learn as well. We're gonna have specific designated areas for asking questions, so please don't just start like spam asking questions in the chat because it will be buried, and we will forget about them. So I will let you guys know when you're free to ask questions, and we will ask hopefully all of them. Answer hopefully all of them. I think we're probably gonna start now. We have a grace period up right now, which will end in about... Tucky, did you say it was 30 minutes like 10 minutes ago?
Yeah. You can make it as long, obviously. You know that, as long as you want, but it's been about like 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay. About 5:25, maybe. 5:25 my time. I'll end the grace period. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say thank you all so much for coming. It means a lot. Because this is an intermediate class, we're not going to be going over every single spec of the para profile, but we're going to go over it generally, and then in between resting periods, we will go over questions. If you have questions about Packies or Oris, I cannot answer that for you because this is a para class. But if you have questions about Packies and Oris and their interactions with paras, we can absolutely answer that. I ask that you keep the chat clear. Try not to talk in there too much unless you're like, I need to go, it's emergency, goodbye. Like I said, we'll have specific periods where you can ask questions. Yeah, treat it as a dress rehearsal. So with that, we're gonna just stay in this area for a little bit. Oh, folk, your comfort is so red. Oops. And I'm gonna go over just really quickly some of the basic profile tags for para. Again, this is an intermediate class, so we're not gonna go over everything in excruciating detail because if we did, we would be here for about 5 hours. So basically, very quick profile notes. Paras are cathermal, or cathemeral, depending on how you want to pronounce it, meaning that we're active both during the nighttime and during the daytime. And in order to rest, we just take short naps in between. If we were diurnal, we would, sleep during the night and nest and be active during the day. But because we're thermal, we can nest and be active regardless of the time of day or night. And by the way, Z or Ducky or basically any staff member, you can interrupt me at any point if you need to or want to say something or add anything about the profile or anything.
I will never interrupt you.
Don't feel like you have to be completely silent. So as well as being cathemeral, we're also polyamorous, which means that males have multiple female partners during a single season. But something that is specific with para is that females are also allowed to mate with multiple males as per their mating limit. So our mating limit is twice every hour, so you can mate with the same male twice, or you can mate with 2 different males once each. And because it says per mating limit, if there was for example, nesting event in which you could mate 4 times, that means that by our rules, you could mate with 4 different males. Fun fact. But as a standard, we only mate twice. Is it too late to get TP'd? No, I get to TP you. As well as being cathemeral and polyamorous, we're also social, so we actively enjoy the company of other herbivores, specifically para, but we also enjoy the company of packies and ories. We're terrestrial. I don't think I have to explain what that means, but basically, para no swim. We're not semi-aquatics. We're nomadic, which means that we do not claim territory and we don't stay in one area for super long. We're going to stay in this area for a little bit just so we can kick off with some courting and baby making, and then after that we'll move. But that's mostly for class reasons. We're also... Okay. So females, when they don't have eggs or offspring, are skittish, meaning that the second that you see something on your fear list, you're going to want to run far away from it. If you do have offspring or eggs, correct, so no. If you do have offspring or eggs, you become defensive, which means that you're more willing to stand your ground against predators. Males are also belligerent, regardless of the presence or absence of offspring or eggs. Does anyone have any questions about the things that I just covered, the things that I just already went over?
Skittish.
Skittish.
Can I touch on that?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. I need everybody to shush, though. Paracalls are fucking loud and bassy.
They are very bassy.
So I do want to touch base. Skittish, you are still a herd mentality animal as well. Meaning that, yes, if you see that apex, you're going to want to run. You're going to want to get out of that area. But would it be within the realm of reality for them to start running, realize the majority of the herd, because they're nesting, are being defensive and want to stick around because of the sense of being in the herd more. That's what I asked you. Puppy.
Sorry, could you repeat? I was typing.
Skittish.
Yeah.
Scenario. Majority of the herd is nesting, but you're not for whatever reason.
Yeah.
If something happens or you see an apex, they're defensive. They're staying there to defend their grove.
Yep.
You running off on your own, like you start running as a skittish, and then you realize, oh, the herd's not coming with me. Would it be still within the realms of reality to turn back around and try and stay close to where the herd's at? Because your options then are run on your own, make yourself the target, or stick with the number. Where would you say the line between realism and rule sits there?
I would say that realistically, if you would probably want to put the rest of your herd between you and the threat, as opposed to singling yourself out and running away. But because, you're still skittish,
your initial reaction should still be, I want to run.
Yeah, you should still be like, for example, just because we're all kind of spread out, if I don't have a nest and there's a predator coming towards us from, let's say, like where a snowy mountain is, I would probably be more inclined to put my body, I would still be, I would run away and be more inclined to put all of the herd's bodies between me and whatever is scary.
Mm-hmm. And if there is more than just one of you running, like if there's like 3 or 4 of you running, that's enough that you would probably still feel secure in running.
Yeah.
This is just mostly a thought process of if you're actually going to end up on your own if you run. You don't want to put yourself more at risk just because of the rules. Yeah. More at risk unrealistically.
Yeah. If if a predator shows up and you don't have eggs, even though other people do, you wouldn't start acting aggressively and stomping just because, other members of your herd are still acting defensively because they have kids. If you don't have kids,
you'll be skittish, scared. You'll
be freaked out.
Yeah,
because you have nothing to protect. The only thing you have to protect is your own life.
There you go. Does that make sense to everybody? Sorry to throw like a big question at you.
No, I think it's a good question to ask. Okay. If no one has any questions about that, even if you do later, you're totally free to re-ask. Even if I say something 50 times and you're still like, I'm not sure about that, you can ask later.
I also said that they could put their questions in Bob Event VC if they think of them and can tab out, and that way they don't forget them.
Yeah, that's a smart idea as well. And you could copy and paste your question if you remember there. Yeah, go ahead. If it's related to the things that we've already talked about. There's a Faded Seraph in VC. Oh,
Faded
yeah.
Seraph. I think they're in here.
Oh, they were just typing.
Okay. No. I don't want to open YouTube music. Sorry. Good. Okay, so Faded Seraph asks, if your female is more testosterone based, like mine, is it terribly against profile for her to react similar, though less belligerent to a male? Go ahead, puppy. You got that one.
Thanks, Z. It depends on the circumstances. You could act more aggressively towards creatures that are not on your fear list. If your dinosaur was born with a hormonal imbalance, I would still recommend acting with profile as much as you can, especially in the context of fear lists. But yeah, and again, we don't want to be we don't want to be like too restrictive, like, have everything be a black or white scenario. So I would say, if it's, yeah. Isa brought up a good point. You could 3 call something as a warning as opposed to 5 calling, but you would still run away.
So I'm gonna jump in here too, because I do this because I made Toast spicy, as I like to call her. She does that. So she'll see something dangerous, she'll 3 call it at first, maybe do a stomp, but she's still running.
Yeah.
Because even female wise or whatever, that's what you act. That's kind of how the rolling works.
So I see people have asked questions and stuff that are okay. So egg nesting, courting related questions, I will answer in a little bit because we're about to get to that.
Guys, please go put those in the event VC so you don't forget the questions. But right now, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, for I can still TP you. So as far as Sarah, your question goes, try to act within profile as much as possible. It still says that herbivores avoid conflict as much as possible, but a good compromise is to still run away from things on your fear list, but like stomping at them and 3 calling instead of just 5 calling and running away. You could 3 call and run away. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting DM'd a lot.
Stop DMing the teacher, guys. Come on.
No, it's fine.
Kenny asks, males can still choose to be skittish. Of course you can. Like, if you know that Rex is about to chomp your butt, run. Just because you're belligerent or you're willing to fight does not mean that you have to be. Yeah, it's not a dumb question.
No,
it's
you
a good
can.
question.
No questions are dumb questions.
You do not have to force yourself to fight something that even your para would know would kill it.
Yeah. And here's something fun. You can be scared of anything if you want. Like, even if you're a male and you don't necessarily fear like 2 megs, you could still be wary of them because those are carnivores. Who knows what they could do? You're totally free to act that way.
Taro, I'm gonna ask you to do a quick relog because you have a stinky scent of not para. Oh. Run, Taro. Never mind. Ignore my suggestion. Just fucking go.
Are we freaking out?
Yep.
Alright, we're running. Yep, that makes sense to me. Oh, JK, we're running the other way. We look like a school of fish. Yeah, I was gonna say. A 5 call is a warning to other paras that there's something dangerous around.
Okay, calm the 5 calls.
5 calling.
Please, even when we say stop the 5 calling, that doesn't mean start 1 calling.
Think of it this way. You've had your initial panic moment. You've screamed. Now you need to conserve your energy for getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Also consider that whatever is hunting you could follow you, especially if you keep screaming your head off. They could very easily track you by sound that way. That was a really, really good reaction though, you guys.
The panic going every which
Yeah.
way was absolutely perfect.
I didn't know where the threat was, so I just started running in the direction that I saw everyone else running, and then when we realized where the threat was coming from, we started running in the right direction.
And that's okay. Literally, you can do that. That happened. You just heard somebody panic and start running.
Yeah. So folk made a good point. You can sort of forecall to sort of signify that you're nervous, but you've stopped being in like a adrenaline rush. Paras, they can run for as long as they want to, or as long as the herd feels like running. But at a certain point, they will start walking and sniffing behind them to just sort of double check that whatever scared them isn't following them.
Think deer, where they, stop, pause, and then like look back and like are alert and looking and trying to be like, is it gone?
After running for a bit, they will assess the situation. And
then say it's an acro, and then we see it cresting the hill again. Then it's okay to 5 call again.
Yeah.
It's also good when you're like a younger or less experienced para, you probably look to see how your matriarch is reacting, and if she's still nervous, it's probably likely you're still going to be nervous.
Yeah.
And if she's calmed down, then you're probably going to calm down as well.
Yep. And now we feel like the threat isn't a threat anymore, at least for now. So paras might be exchanging 2 calls with each other to sort of like help calm each other down. Maybe we'll start doing some grooming to just as like a solidarity thing, like I don't know if I groomed you, Florida. Hopefully I did. My game just lagged.
Okay, I'm going to touch on this because it was asked, since we did just have a moment where we were running.
Yeah.
Someone did ask, would it be okay to kick people behind you to throw them in the way of the threat? Generally, no, you wouldn't waste the energy in this profile. Like, you wouldn't, the amount of time that you would have to waste to go down on all fours, kick somebody, and come back up and start running again, it's not worth it.
May I clear the weather?
I don't know, folk. Are we allowed to? I don't know, puppy. Are we allowed to?
Aw, but with a fun.
What do you mean by a belligerent? Oh, I can do this. Oh yeah, because I've had a couple of good interactions. So you, as a male para, you'll run with your women because your focus is your women at the end of the day, or any woman, pretty much. Again, herbivores try to avoid conflict when they can. However, there are a few times that you can do some actions as a male para to try and cause distraction or cause something to go away. Some of that, I think some of you already know. If you remember if you played with me on my male, in that jungle instant where some of us, not all of us, some of us turned, were standing on a cliff above a Rex, 3 calling, stomping, 1 calling, and looking intimidating until it backed off. That's a viable thing to do. From a place of safety. Jesus Christ, this wind.
Yeah.
From a place of safety, like up on a cliff or something where you have a bit of distance, do your intim display as a belligerent. Thank you. That's acceptable behavior. You're allowed to do that. But you have to keep in mind, like, it depends on the threat. If it's a Rex, yeah, where the ladies go, the males are going to want to go too. Right now Puppy's acting as the matriarch.
Yeah, I am the matriarch. I can talk about the matriarch just a little bit, but I really want to get to courting. So the matriarch is typically the biggest, oldest female in the herd. She is the one who's had like a lot of offspring. She knows the migration routes. She's very good at picking out what could potentially be sick offspring. She's familiar with all of the paras. She knows everybody. But typically she's just like the biggest and oldest female. Her main duties are deciding where and when to lead the herd to a new location, as well as sort of maintaining and observing the health of all of the new hatchlings that are born. And I can get to that when we get to courting. So for now, because I'm the mat, I'm gonna one call and sort of move away, signifying that I'd like to move to a different area. And we're not going to go far, we're just going to go down this hill. Sometimes, if you're a mat, just kind of, as Yana said, sometimes if you're a mat, one calling is not enough to get the whole herd's attention, especially if they themselves are being really noisy. So you can stomp to get their attention. Sometimes it might require you just sort of like walking away, and eventually the herd will understand what's happening and then scramble to catch up to you. But you can stomp sort of in the direction that you would like to go if your herd is not paying attention to you.
One of the other things, well, you'll probably want to follow that mat by instinct. There's always those moments where another female might be similar size, or, you know, you might have a stronger connection and she decides that, you know, actually we're going to stay, or actually we're going to move this way. You do not have to follow the mat that says move out if you do not trust her as a mat.
Yeah. And, you know, para herds are unlimited. They can be as big as, you know, you want them to be, as big as there are people who want to be paras, but you don't all have to be in one big group. Herds can splinter off into smaller herds all the time. It's completely normal.
And it helps the population in general, too, because if you think about it, when you have the splinter off groups, you're going to end up with the herd being less overhunted as well.
Yep.
Because one herd will be hunted and they'll have to run, but the other herds will not be.
All right, questions for right now that don't involve... Actually, all questions right now, if just like hold on to them for a little bit. If you're afraid that you're going to forget, go ahead and write them in the no mic channel.
The Bob event chat, it's above the VCs.
the Bob event chat. Type your questions in Bob event chat. Is Mr. Pangea in VC? Do we know? If not, I don't see him. Okay, so I'm going to where's group?
Are they still in group?
I'm going to remove them from the group then.
Yeah.
Because I think that they're saying that they're not in the class. Please say yes to that request. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to go over recording really quickly so we can go ahead and start with this, because there's something kind of important that I want to touch upon. So for courting is initiated by the females. Males can flirt and show off at any time, you know, if you're resting or if you're migrating, whatever, but courting is initiated by the females. So what she'll do is she'll sort of separate herself. Yeah, if we could have actually everyone sort of lay down and watched first instead of courting, and then you can court after I just show.
Come on, everybody up. Your food is fine. You'll be fine for the few minutes that you watch the courting. Come on, over here.
Could I have Issa and Dorito separate yourself from the herd really quickly?
Everybody else, come on up here, please, where I am, and watch.
So what's going to happen is a female is going to separate herself from the herd. And I'm not a very speedy female, so this should be interesting. But a female is going to separate from the herd, and she's going to sort of observe the males, maybe do some sniffing. And then she's going to one call. And she's going to one call and two call incessantly. She's flirting hardcore. She wants some eggs. Sorry. And the males, oh, you're good. And the males, once they notice, they're going to start two calling and one calling as well. And she will lead them off into a chase. And I'm going to sort of run very badly in like a kind of an oval in this area so that I don't run too far away. The males, they're going to fight with each other while the female is running. You don't have to hit each other, but sometimes they do. They're gonna do a lot of one calling, a lot of three calling, a lot of two calling. Sometimes the female will stop and just sort of do a two call, and she'll run away again.
Don't mind me, I'm just
I like to do a little
recording.
jump. And as far as courting goes, I've seen people do it very, very well. I haven't really seen any huge problems, so I think you all are pretty well versed.
The only thing I've noticed about courting that I want to reiterate that you mentioned is, you know, slowing down and letting the males catch up with you a few times, maybe walk alongside you. I noticed people will just go on a chase forever. There's no stops. And part of courting does involve letting them catch you a few times.
It's true. In the profile itself, it does say that the female will slow down and sort of rub bodies with the male, I think, and then she'll keep running away. It's a game of cat and mouse where she's like, oh, am I giving it to you? Am I giving it to you? No, I'm not.
Also,
I'm run away again.
As a male, along those lines, if you are Half-Life, stop!
Yes. nothing is worth like losing your own life for.
Yeah.
Also, if you see a male who like, don't kill each other, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitting other males is, I think it's a clever part of courting because injury slows down your competition. But if I see males going ham on each other as a female, I'm stopping courting because courting is not about like brute strength. It's about speed. Yeah. And as soon as you see males killing each other for you, they're officially no longer courting you correctly.
Yeah, they're just sort of roughing up the other males.
The female can totally reject them at that point. If they asked if accidentally hit a female, no, you're allowed to say no. One thing that I'm going to say, as a male, since your goal is injury, not death, aim for the leg. Do not aim for the tail as much as you can. Do not aim for the body or the head. Do not stomp. You can stomp in frustration once you pull off. Make sure you're really actually pulled off. I did that once. So I was pulling off and stomped somebody. That was an accident.
Yeah. I forgot who brought it up. I think Panda. Mm-hmm. Another important point, males do not stomp each other at all. Especially not during the chase. That's not, there is no honor in stomping.
And again, go ahead. No, I was just going to say leg hits do more injury by default. So
yes, my male, for example, I'm not on him right now, obviously, but my male, he's not very fast, so he tries to get ladies by slowing the other males down, but that also usually ends up with him not being picked because one, he's not as fast, and two, he's slightly more violent.
Yes.
Absolutely they can.
Yeah.
If these two males were like just hardcore and like yanking on each other and maybe they accidentally hit me once, that's a kick. I'm not interested in them.
No, there is no accidentally. You see the people's hitbox. If they're that low, stop attacking.
Yeah, you can see people's HP now. There is no accidentally killing other males. That's just not allowed.
Yeah.
Speed, catching up, or determination. I feel like that depends on the female.
Mm-hmm. Depends on her preference.
On her preference. Yeah, you could go ahead and ask questions about courting.
As long as it's questions about reproduction and courting. If a male keeps...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, honest to goodness, as a female, I wouldn't be taking that male. As a female, I would be stopping that courting and walking away and be like, fuck all of that.
Yeah. Also, something that Issa and Dorito are doing right now, that's actually very important. Issa is grooming Dorito. So males, even though during courting they might be very aggressive towards each other, they're still pals. They're still bros. They still depend on each other for protection when there's a predator around. So males are not gonna like hate each other and hold grudges forever. Alright. So say the female scared of males was gotten familiar with a few particular ones. Can she try to get their attention and take them on a chase and maybe freak out and dip if other males notice to try to get in on it?
This is a really fun personality quirk, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, please pay attention to the classes going on. I know that some of you might feel like you already know some of this, but it's always good to hear it from all the different perspectives.
Yeah. Ashlyn Claw brings up a good point. If a male is very, very aggressive and maybe gets like too injured, he might not be a good candidate because then if he's really, really injured, he can't protect the grove or the eggs or his females.
Can't even make a grove at that point, honestly.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Puppy. I have
Yes.
a question and sort of
Yeah.
a comment at the same time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Theory brings up what I think is a really important question that I sort of want to comment on, but also open up to you as well, which is a female allowed to favor specific males, and is she allowed to reject faster males for him? My long and short for that is essentially like you're never forced to mate with somebody that you don't want to mate with. Like, courtship is up to your para, and whatever like it entails certain things and has a way to be done, and they should, even if you favor a male, he should be courting you properly. Whether or not he's faster than an opponent is less important than a proper courtship going on versus, like, you know, a male's trying to court you properly and then that male walking up and slamming the /mate button and you're like, yep, I favor him, versus like an effort to follow the profile. And I just wanted to you also to touch on that sort of like, when is it good to pick people? How do I pick somebody I want even if they technically lose courtship?
Yeah, no, thank you for saying that, because that's a really good point as well. I know in a game like this, especially with a profile like this where it's very, very social, it's very easy to just sort of want to, like, only nest with your friends and only hang out with your friends. And, you know, as cheesy as this sounds, I like to think that, you know, I'm friends with everyone, especially in this community that I love a lot. But I know it's really easy to sort of be like, I only want to, you know, have eggs with this specific person. And obviously it. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's less of a specific person.
Yeah.
And more of a like, you can have a crest color preference or maybe a pattern preference or something like that.
For sure.
And that's
yeah.
Or if you know, like, if that male is slower but he makes super hot groves and you know that, and maybe a faster male makes worse groves that are really not impressive to your female, maybe you'd pick the slower one. You know that he is more experienced with groves. Or maybe you know a male just recently defended your female from something that would have been a fatal interaction. And she remembers that just happened.Maybe she'd be more inclined.
And he somehow miraculously got out of that too.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Like, Isa he's a great male and he's very, very fast. He's a great male to choose. Isa also doesn't really make great groves, so you're free to reject him for that too. So yeah,
I'm sorry, Isa. I love you. Do you think females with the same? No. Go ahead, puppy.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably not. Females not only do herbivores in general try to avoid conflict, female paras specifically are very friendly and they have very strong bonds with their fellow female paras. I don't think that they would particularly experience jealousy, especially over males who are replaceable. Yeah, if that sounds like a satisfactory answer.
Long-term bonds can be a thing with one or more males that have your preferences, I'm assuming. And if they're not, you'll engage in the normal courting behavior. I mean, you can always have those preferences. Again, try not to make it like absolute individuals. Like, as an example, Toast actually really honestly has a preference for Isa's male because of his look. And that's about where it stops. Yeah, I mean, literally. But, like, she doesn't say no to the other male. She might try and deke and dodge during her run to try and give her favorite male an advantage. Do you understand what I mean? Like, so when we're running, and you say you turn, you know very well, like you can control the odds too by doing your dekes and dodges. Yeah, specifically as long as it's not like, oh, I only ever want to mate with puppy, no matter what para they're on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to touch upon earlier, because within the profile, we absolutely want people to create, preferences and individual personalities for their dinos. Absolutely, that is absolutely encouraged. She doesn't really behave like this anymore, but this para used to hate other paras, and hate used to being in herds. She would only hang out by herself. So absolutely, we encourage people to sort of have their own preferences. But it's a thing that can coexist with the other thing that I was saying, which was don't only ever mate with one, one specific person. And try, because, especially paras, their mate bonds are not super strong, so they would kind of go from different males to different males depending on the season. So those two things can coexist together.
Oh, that's a good question, Theory. I actually kind of have this headcanon, and I want to ask if this is a plausible and acceptable thing. Say, like, I have a headcanon thing, where, say, a mother and a daughter, mother's ready for the next breeding season, and it's the daughter's first breeding season. Can the mother maybe, like, encourage the daughter and they can run together?
Always.
Kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
And I love that kind of headcanon because you're teaching the next generation how to do this interaction. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, gay paras, but you have to stay within the rules.
Yeah.
Which means if you're both skittish, you're both skittish. End of story.
Yep. Okay, so just really quick, we're gonna... This paragraph is probably gonna take a little bit. Hello, my daughter. All right, so if you would like to, you can start your own courting process and we can all get that sorted out. And then we can talk about groves and stuff.
I wanted to mention, I see a lot of females give up or males not notice when females are courting. If I'm the matriarch of a herd and I've got a bunch of dweeby males like play fighting with each other or not noticing females are courting, I'm probably going to go up to them and like mimic shoving them or even yell at them a bit because that's what you're here for, male. Do your male thing.
Yeah.
But I notice males are just goofing around and not noticing when females are courting. As a matriarch or as like a more experienced female, you can get after them a bit.
Yeah.
And secondly, females, if you are courting at the same time as 10 other females, you're probably gonna have to wait until the males are back. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
Wait until they return and then lead them on to chase, because I noticed that also happens.
I mean, yeah, that's a strategy as well, because sometimes if multiple females are sort of flirting at the same time, all of the males might go to one female, and then the females sort of T-posing in the open, like, well, where are all the males? So
sometimes I'll snipe males from a female. If I'm on a female and there's like 5 after another female, I might walk past those males chasing her in one call and flirt too and try to get them to chase me instead.
Yeah, for sure.
So
a male can very often and understandably be overwhelmed if there's a lot of females flirting. He might start chasing one and then move on to the next one.
Stop the calls for a second. Yeah. Poppy, can you repeat what you said, and Ducky, because I think it got drowned out by the paranoise.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I was saying a male can very understandably and very easily become overwhelmed if there are lots of females courting, because he might start chasing one, and then another female might start to flirt, and he might pull off and start chasing that one.
Yeah, you can very easily switch, especially if there's more than one female going. Don't feel guilty about pulling off. Like, if you get bum, you get bum. That's the male mentality. It's like you don't care who with, really.
Yeah, and you're not gonna be able to flirt with and chase every female in the herd, especially if you like are chasing one and you get kind of hurt and you're a lot slower. That decreases your chance of flirting with the next female.
Okay, commence flirting again.
Yep.
love it when the Packies join.
That is literally my favorite little fluff thing that has happened. Is Packies raised by paraherds join. It's the best thing ever. So I am going to make one hint. When you are doing the chase, because you don't want to drown out the other females who are one calling for attention, I know Puppy did say to one call and stuff during. Try and keep the one calling to a minimum. Keep it 2 calls, 4 calls, the males 3 calling each other, do the odd 1 call, maybe when you do a switch in direction. That way, if a female is one calling many, many times over and over again to try and get the attention of somebody, she can be heard.
And if no males are, if you're really, really being ignored, you could stop, I guess.
I think you're literally faster than me.
I have literally had to slow down for some females before.
I mean, my female is not very fast, but she keeps having the males chase her anyway. Because, she wants to test them out. Take them for a test drive. Yep, you can mate once with 2 males or twice with the same male. Really quick, I'm gonna ask that you do not post your nesting post until I say, I've read your mind based. We were mind syncing. Do not post your nesting post until I tell you to. Yeah, absolutely, Thryzen, that's a great little roleplay thing you can do. If you want to mate with the same male again, even if you already believe that he's worthy of you, you can do a second smaller chase for fun, just to really solidify that bond.
If you need help remembering all the mate stuff, because I do too, you can write down your information in the Bob event chat, please. Hey.
Yeah. Once again, I would ask that you not sort of start chatting in group chat. If you want to ask someone's GP, do it through messages. Or if you have a courting related question, you can ask it in group chat, but try to keep emojis and stuff out of group chat, please.
Okay, again, are we going to do a mass post?
We're not going to do a mass post. We're going to just have everyone post at the same time.
Okay.
But we'll ping class.
Okay.
Class. Ping events? I don't think it needs to be pinged. The first nesting post will say, this is... Okay, how about this? In your nesting post, put, this is a class egg.
Yeah, so guys, listen, stop talking for a second, stop calling. Just...
Go ahead.
When you're making the nesting post, which none of us want you to post yet, Puppy will tell you, put para-class or class nesting in your post. Also, yes, if you need to find out GP and things, a name of the para and things like that for your post, please do it in whispers.
a hot female over here. If there's any males around, come get your ladies.
That's a good question.
If two males want the same grove, they would try to intimidate each other off of it. So not stomping the other paras, but sort of stomping and three calling the other male until one of them backs away.
And if nobody backs away, then you're doing it wrong. As a male, you would probably be quite upset about that, honestly.
I would also say instead of it being like a battle of the stubbornness, if your male will find a grove that could be better, there's always a better spot. So don't start walloping on each other and like, crying about somebody taking your grove. Your para, that's a human emotion, is the jealousy of a spot. He would simply find a better spot.
Yeah.
Too much effort to not.
Since there's no bullfighting for that in profile, you would not come to fisticuffs over it. You would simply say, I can find a better spot.
That Ori eating your baby food and stuff around your thing, though, you would be very upset about that. You would protect that.
I feel like the males and females would have different reactions. Like a female would be like, "Oh, cute Ori," and a male's like, "What are you doing?"
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
Okay. Oh. This one did a hurdy. So before we have the eggs, we're gonna move to a different location, I think. Because I don't think there's enough food here.
No.
There's not. Remember to ask for GP through
Whispers.
Or well, it's /M. It is message. You message /M and then their username. I've gotten used to calling it Whispers, even though technically in Bob it's not Whispers.
I have a question if it hasn't been asked yet.
Go ahead.
What determines what grove the female takes? How does the male get her there?
So a male, oh shoot, stop. No alarms, no pills right now. So I would imagine, a male would try to, if he sets up his grove all nice, he's got it prepared, he would try to call and call the female over to his grove, try to like lead her to it. If she mates with two different males and they both have two different groves ready, she can survey them both and just pick the one that she thinks is better. Does that sound accurate?
That works as an answer.
Good luck, Z. That is a good question. I would imagine that if Matt was flirting, she would be doing a lot of like turning in place and two calling. Whereas if a Matt is trying to lead you to a specific direction, she will face that direction in one call and maybe stomp. So like, if I'm the Matt and I'm trying to flirt, I'll be doing lots of two callings and like walking around in a circle in a specific area. How would courting and mating go if a female mates with 2 bulls or wants to? I know sometimes people run twice, but I heard it's not how they should do it. Typically, yeah, I would think that you would probably run twice, yeah. Yeah, babies will probably become quote-unquote judged a little bit after they've hatched. There's not a specific time frame for it, and I can talk about that more once we actually get to it. I'm going to ask people to start wrapping up their flirting because we're going to move in a bit. So if you want to drink water, go up to the river. If you want to eat food, start chomping away at the trees. We're not leaving at just this second.
Okay, for some reason it won't let me whisper the person I mated with. Your mom, I need your name. Just DM it back to me or whatever, whisper it. Thank you.
I'm also gonna go up and get some water because, gosh darn, I am thirsty.
Yeah, it's been a lot of talking. Okay, so nesting posts do not go up yet.
Nope, not yet. What do you mean by stick with their preferred mate? You mean like walking by them? Like traveling with them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, if you want to. I mean, I feel like the female would just kind of go wherever she wants, and the male, it's kind of like his job, I guess, to sort of hang out by her and like protect her. The more females you mate with, the more difficult that becomes. If you wanted to, you could try to sort of gather your ladies, in an area, and that they're near each other, so you can watch them easier. If that makes sense.
For me as a like when I'm playing a female pair, it also depends on like what stage of courtship we're at. If it's like the honeymoon stage, I've still got eggs in me, I'll probably want to be around him. After I have offspring though, he's annoying to me and I want him away. Like I will kick my males away from me and my kids, even if it's his kid. If he's too up in my
Too up in your business. I think we had an accident. Oops, I messaged the wrong person. Did your cat touch your mouse?
Where's puppy? Oh, there he is.
So it sounds like someone would like us to move. So in the profile, just to answer River's question, in the profile it says if a female doesn't like the male's grove or he's not very gentle with it, she's totally free to abandon those eggs. if you've only mated with one male and you don't like his growth, that is an option for you to not take care of the eggs. Because if you don't like his growth, then maybe you're like, well, I don't think his genes are good for me. Maybe
no point in wasting the energy on bad genetics.
Yeah. If you've only mated with one male and you don't like his growth, you would not lay your eggs in another male's growth, because that... Oh, run. Remember not to spam 5 calls. Oh, jeez.
An initial 5 call is good.
Yeah, initial 5 call is good. We all 5 called there. It was good.
Now we're going to want to be as quiet as we can be as we run and hope to God somebody else gets eaten, not us.
Christ. I like looking at all the paras run. It's really funny. Alright, so we probably wouldn't Z-call the acro again because we all know that it's there.
And we all know it's still chasing.
We all know it's still chasing us. You've been looked behind you.
Okay, here we go. Woo.
Oh no, I hate that fridge.
It's literally why I avoided it completely, because fuck that lip.
Okay. I'm gonna say here, rule of thumb with it. As far as knowledge goes, Z-call is used when you see the threat, but the herd hasn't.
Yeah.
And
Z-call
only...
to get the reaction. The 5 calls to pass it to the front.
So I know it's tempting to stop and watch the battle, but I am terrified of that. I can still hear that there's a struggle. I fear blood. I fear gore. I'm running away. Sorry to my herd mates, but better them than me. I'm gonna keep running.
Same, the Matt is just keeping on going. She's trucking, which, as you know, you take your cues from the oldest, right?
Yep.
Why the fuck is there a tiny fucking lip right on the other side of those trees?
Jeez. Getting lots of exercise today. Running away from big scary predators has me working up an appetite, I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm. Nom nom.
Jesus. Crack scared the shit out of me. I ate a
anybody-
tree and he was behind it.
If anybody needs a fat plant, I'm just walking over it right now. There you go, fat plant.
So if your mate dies before you've laid the eggs, you physically cannot lay them if he hasn't plopped down a nest for you. So you would have to destroy the eggs, I think.
And if you can't destroy the eggs because they're already ready,
you're probably just forced to, if they're fully ready and you haven't done your 2 times mating limit, you can always run again to try and get another male, so you can get the eggs out of you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
but since if you're already done your 2, there's not much we can help you game mechanic wise. I mean, would it be outside of the realm for them to ask for an in-game help request for that, where they can mate with another male,
Yeah.
shit out the eggs, and then we just yeet the eggs?
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, I think that would be a viable thing. So if you, that way you don't get stuck with eggs in you forever, because that's not fair either.
Yeah. That's a little fun, little quirky Bob mechanic thing.
Yeah. No. Logging doesn't fix that. You can log out with eggs in you, and you log back in with those eggs.
You can try force crash though.
I don't know if force crash does it all the time. It's not consistent. What I'm saying is,
No, the restart doesn't get rid of your eggs either.
Nope.
No.
Restarts don't do
The
anything.
only
weird.
way I really know that you can get rid of it